All right, once again, thank you for joining us on KTN Weekend Prime. We've got lots to talk about this evening, including that story on Uhuru Kenyatta defending the Security Amendment Bill. But we will get into the highlights right now to show you what else is happening across the country. Here now are the highlights on KTN Weekend Prime. Five members of one family perish in Gilgil crash.
Unajua ni nani mgeni alifika katika kijiji yetu jana? Ni nyumba gani ambaye kuna watu ambao hawalali usiku, wanalala mchana? Na ni kwa nini?
Be the government's eyes where you live. Uhuru pleads with Kenyans on security.
Kwa target wako sawa. Sasa yani wakiamua tu kupiga tu wanapiga ile mahali wana target.
It's now 2 years since BARAGOI massacre of police officers. What lessons did we learn? And why I gave birth in my house. The challenges of maternal health in Turkana. We begin with some very sad news at the beginning of this festive season. 5 people from the same family perished in a road accident on the Nairobi-Nakuru highway, while several others were seriously injured. As Najma Ismail reports, the crash involved a public service vehicle and a trailer.
The mangled wreck of the ill-fated matatu that was carrying a group of 15 family members shows the magnitude of the accident. According to eyewitnesses, the matatu, which was heading to Nakuru from Gilgil, rammed into an oncoming trailer, killing 3 women and 2 men instantly.
Gari ilikuwa narudisha watu, ilikuwa imetoka inaenda Nakuru, kakutana na hiyo lori. Lori ilikuwa ina overtake. Sasa wakati huwa na muhepa asigongo walikutana nje ya barabara. Hapo ni laini 3. Sasa hii lori ilikuta hii gari kando kabisa kwa laini yake, hata huyo alikuwa amemhepa mpaka akagoga guardrail akijaribu kuhepa lori.
The matatu was going downhill when it hit the trailer that was overtaking another car and failed to give way. The drivers of the 2 vehicles are said to be in critical condition and are admitted at the St. Mary's Mission and Gilgil Sub-County hospitals together with other passengers.
Sisi tunadilia serikali tuwekewe bump pale, ndio watu waache kukufia mahali pale, kwa sababu watu wamekufa wengi pale highway. Kwa hivyo hata leo asubuhi kumegongwa mtu na kipikipi na person iko hapa. Watu wengi wamekufia pale, wamepoteza uhai pale kwa sababu ya ajali za barabara. Tuwekewe bump ili zipunguze magari speed, watu waache kukufa.
The 5 who died are said to have been coming from a family reunion in Kiambogo area at around 9 p.m. and heading to Mbaruk when the accident occurred. Najma Ismail, KTN Weekend Prime.
Nurses have threatened to go on strike should the government adopt the Salaries and Remuneration Commission report, which seeks to harmonize allowances for civil servants and other state officers. Speaking today in Kisumu, the Kenyan National Union of Nurses leaders dismissed the recommendations as political gimmicks.
That extraneous allowance, among other allowance, shall be chopped off from the public servant salaries is hereby rejected by this union in totality. We are saying that that proposition by Sarah Serem is a violation of the Constitution of Kenya, is a violation of the Employment Act, and is a violation of the International Labour Organization Convention number 100. You cannot reduce salary and allowances that workers are enjoying.
Sticking with health news, you've often heard the saying, no mother should die while giving life. That's a promise in many maternal health campaigns. But in Turkana County, the reality of maternal death is still far from zero. Dorcas Wangira has that report.
In Turkana, many expectant women are driven by 2 conflicting imperatives: to either give birth at home or walk for long distances just to get to the nearest health center.
You find that the wife wants to go to the clinic, but the husband is not ready to support the issue. Maybe it means the woman is wasting a lot of time going to the facility. the men does not understand the importance of the clinic.
In Namoroputh village, Loima sub-county, Elizabeth Losike is grateful. All her children are alive. Of 6, only 2 were born in a health facility. She recalls how difficult delivering at home was.
I did not go to hospital to give birth. I did not know why it was important. Giving birth had many problems. For the second child, I had to go to Lodwa.
Not all mothers are as fortunate. Turkana County has one of the highest maternal death records in the country. According to a 2014 UNFPA report, of the 1,594 pregnancies recorded, 175 mothers died as a result of complications. 60 in every 1,000 infants who were born never lived to see their first birthday. Different campaigns have been initiated to improve maternal health care in Turkana North, South, Central and Loima sub-counties. Save the Children believes that by educating the community on the importance of health-based deliveries, the maternal health burden will be reduced. Not all is lost for the county. Elizabeth says that other children just like hers can survive, and she hopes that one day every mother will have access to a health facility. Dorcas Wangira, KTN.
The statistics there are quite serious, but we will be discussing this amongst other stories that we have covered throughout the year. Now, moving on, it was pomp and color for the Gems community in Oldebe village in Marigat within Baringo earlier in the day as members of the community celebrated their transition of their young men from one age group to another. They were also installing a leader for that group. Now, the ceremony, known as Eunoto, usually conducted after every 12 years, so over 5,000 Morans within the age group of 15 years to 25 years of age received new mandates. The leader installed will be an influential and highly respected member of the community from now on. According to Ngems elders, the motive of the cultural practice is to foster unity and good relations among the Morans in the age set, as well as issuing new responsibilities in serving the Ngems community.
Hawa vijana sasa wamekuwa na president ambaye atakuwa anasimamia mambo ya hao vijana. Mambo ikikuwa ngumu hata kiasi gani, atakuja itwa kutoa uamuzi ya mwisho. Consult hao wawili. Alafu huyu kijana akitaka kuoa msichana, saa hii hata akisema ni huyu, wewe si wa hapa, si ndio? Juhudi ya sababu kama wewe sibadilisha nia mpaka atakuchukua. Sababu kwa sisi watu wote wanaingilia mpaka anapata kuoa.
It is now 2 years since the mass murder of police officers and reservists in Baragoi, Samburu County, in the worst single incident for Kenyan police in living memory. 42 police officers and reservists were killed in the Suguta Valley while on a mission to recover stolen cattle from rustlers. Tonight, we're taking an incisive look at the failures and the lessons learned from this horrific incident.
The practice of cattle rustling remains a major cause of insecurity and conflict among the pastoral communities in the country. For years, the Turkana and the Samburu, both pastoralist groups, have frequently engaged in tit-for-tat cattle rustling, leading to massive loss of lives in the process. On average, a person is killed each week by a cattle rustler's bullet.
Now, November 2012, there has never been a more dangerous time to be a police officer in Samburu, especially in Baragoi.
Watu hata walikuwa almost over 400. They were very many. Walikuwa wengi sana. Tulijaribu kupigana na hawa, walikuwa wengi.
Just as they had done before, over 40 police officers were sent to recover stolen animals from bandits. But what happened next sparked one of the most dangerous gun battles in the history of the Kenya police. Today, they're moving back in time to establish facts before, during, and after the Baragoi massacre.
Over one of the weekends, the cattle rustlers raided Lomerok area in Baragoi, Samburu North at around 4 a.m. and stole livestock. The task of recovering the stolen cattle forced one police elite squad, the anti-stock theft unit. But for now, any police officer is ready for the mission. Villages in the region are heavily fortified by the residents. It's not unusual to see cattle herders armed with automatic rifles. Over 200 kilometers in Magadi, other police officers are in constant battle readiness. It's a quick reaction team specialized in behind-the-line evacuation in hostile environments. Months before this operation, Collins Masila graduated as a police constable. Baragoi is his first area of deployment. Conventionally, the hostile environments of northern Kenya are more often the proving grounds for any new police graduates, at least according to the Kenya Police. It's been 2 years since the killings in Samburu took place.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hapa. Sasa hii risasi hii ndio ilipita hapa ikanipata hapa ile. Ikanipata ile nini. Sasa hii watu kwa target wako sawa. Sasa yani wakiamua tu kupiga tu anapiga ile mahali wa target. Ni kama wako trained.
In the worst single incident clash for Kenya Police in living memory, at least 38 police officers and reservists were killed in Suguta Valley near Baragoi while on a mission to recover stolen cattle.
Walihamia hapo Suguta Valley hapo ndani, kwa hiyo valley ndio ilibidi tupande mlima, tuteremke tuingie kwa hiyo valley ndio tuwaone hapo ndani.
A buzz in the air as the police officers approached Suguta Valley.
Sasa tulikuwa na advance. Tulikuja sasa tukasikia risasi imepigwa. Kumbe tumekaribia mahali wako. Wao wanatuona lakini sisi unajua tuwaone.
As the police officers closed in on cattle rustlers, the expected tactical gains turn to hell on earth.
Watu sasa tuliendelea kupigana nao. Tulikuja tukapigana tukasikia watu wenye walikuwa katikati. Sisi tulikuwa tumejigawanya mara 3. Ile watu walikuwa katikati hawapigi risasi. Sasa hiyo ikatutia wasiwasi, sisi tuko pande ya chini, kuna wengine wako pande ya juu. Kwa nini watu wa katikati hawapigi risasi? Kumbe hao walikuja wakapatikana mahali ilikuwa imeinuka kidogo, ndio ufikie hiyo gari hiyo sasa. Walikuwa mahali imeinuka kidogo. Sasa wengi tulipata walikuwa wameuawa wapi? Hapo ndio maana hata tuko tunasikia response mingi kutoka hapo katikati.
Kenya Police counter-rustling ideas had been outfoxed by basic cunning.
Sasa baadaye hiyo watu wenye wali-advance, wenye nilifika majioni walikuja, walipiga kila mtu. Sasa wakimalizia mtu wanachukua bunduki, wakimalizia watu wakichukua bunduki.
See, Baragoi was an ambush. It was a case of ambush. These men were lured into an enemy fire ambush.
Niliamua acha tu niamke. Juu hata nikiamua kuroli venye nimechoka, sitawezana, watanipata tu hata kama sijafika mahali. Ilibidi niamke, nikakimbia kidogo, nikaingia mahali kwa mtaro, nikaingia ndani. Sasa hiyo risasi zinapita. Nilikosea tu bahati tu. Nikaingia tu mahali nikajificha. Ilibidi nikakaa pale nikatulia pale. Sasa hiyo nikupiga ngwale sioni mtu. Ile watu nimeona nikikimbia, ni watu wameangushwa chini.
Evasive action from a standby quick reaction team is their only hope. The unexpected foe in the service is not only a game changer, it's a national changer. The hope was Baragoi massacre would be the last incident of mass murder of police officers while on operation. But over 1 month ago, 22 General Service Unit officers and 6 Kenya Police reservists were killed by bandits while on their way to restore peace in Kapedo. The officers who survived Kapedo killing stock of narrow escaped and fierce exchange of fire at Lomelo and Kapao areas before the gunmen raced down their vehicles.
Tulikuwa tumekaa tu yani round, lakini sasa ni bahati ya Mungu tu yani. Sababu kila mtu alipatikana, tulibaki tu watu wawili.
And shockingly, Kapedo, exactly the same script. They were lured into a bottleneck where they could not escape. and they were all butchered under the hail of the enemy fire.
Incident of gross human rights violation, including wanton killings, rape, torture, and loss of property have been reported among the warring factions of pastoral communities.
Serikali ya askari yenye wametuma ndio wamalizwe. Serikali ichukue mkondo mwingine. Kama askari ameshindwa na hizo mkondo, ingie mkondo mwingine.
Mimi ningesema hivi, operation kama hiyo ndio ifanyike. Inafaa kupangwa mzuri. Kuwe na visa safety for the officers.
Now, in combat, there is one thing that is more than just killing an enemy, and that is surviving in the front line. To many of us, Collins Masila and other comrades who work in hostile environments to keep this country safe, they remain to be heroes. But one biggest nightmare in the police service is accurate intelligence. And they tell us that something is being done, but as to whether that is being done accurately, that is still debatable, and we have to accept grudgingly. My name is Obar Mark.
2 years later, after the BARAGOI massacre, nobody has been arrested, and those are the kind of challenges that the government says that it will try and address through the new Security Amendment Laws Bill. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has defended that seemingly punitive clauses, in the controversial Security Laws Amendment Bill, and reiterated that Kenya will not relent in the fight against terrorist groups. The president says that terrorism is emerging as a real threat to national unity and economic development. Patrick Amimo has more.
President Uhuru Kenyatta was a special guest at the Joyful Women Organization celebrations held at Kasarani Sports Complex Gymnasium. The president said terrorists and other organized criminal groups have taken advantage of Kenya's hospitality and vibrant democratic space to destabilize the country.
Kwa ukweli, tuko na shida na mambo ya ugaidi katika taifa letu la Kenya. Si wadanganyi. Hii ni watu ambao wana nia ya kuweka hofu kati yetu sisi, ya kuleta mgawanyiko kati yetu sisi, ndio waweze kutimiza nia zao mbovu za kugawanya taifa letu la Kenya. Na sisi hatutawaruhusu, na nilisema hatutawaruhusu. Nimewauliza mtusaidie sisi kama serikali kutambulisha wale ambao mnajua wanaishi kati yenu ambao wako na tabia hizi mbaya, na pia tuwe na sheria ambayo itatuwezesha kuchukua hatua kali kwa watu kama hao.
Uhuru defended provisions in the security bill, saying they are not meant to curtail freedoms but aim to punish terrorists and their sympathizers.
Sisi hatutaki kuzuia uhuru wa mtu yeyote. Sisi hatuna haja na kuvunja vile katiba yetu imesema. Lakini lazima tuweke mikakati ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba wale ambao wamejitolea kuumiza wananchi wetu watachukuliwa hatua ile kali kabisa, na hakuna pahali ambapo watajificha.
Turning to matters development, Uhuru lauded the table banking concept that has been adopted by Joyful Women Group to economically empower the Kenyan women. The group's revolving fund now stands at 1.2 billion shillings with a membership of 170,000 women in 39 counties.
This year, we'll be sharing about 130 million in dividends in the month of January. And we decided to be sharing our dividends in the month of January because it is a very difficult month where many parents want to take their children to school, many people want to start their farming.
This is truly empowering and transforming Kenya, which is part of our Jubilee Manifesto, and this is the way to do it.
Joywo has achieved a lot of success through the table banking scheme. This idea has revolutionized the way women access financial resources, and the welfare of women has been boosted significantly in the fight against poverty.
The president challenged women lawmakers to convince their male colleagues in parliament to pass a law that will allow women county representatives to access a fund similar to CDF.
Na pia unajua kuna wakina mama ambao pia ni waheshimiwa wabunge, ambao wanasimamia constituencies. Sisi kama serikali tulisema sisi hatuna shida.
The president urged women to enroll with NHIF to access health insurance. He, however, expressed disappointment that officials of the Hospital Insurance Fund failed to attend the celebrations to market the institution. Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Now, a rivalry is brewing between public service vehicle operators and the drivers of the popular Pro-Box vehicles, at least popular in Taita Taveta County. And as Francis Mtalaki reports, traditional public transporters are slowly losing their passengers to the Pro-Boxes.
This is what welcomes you here in many of the towns in Taita Taveta County. The Pro-Box menace has now become one of the most popular means of transport. But this development has many of the other PSB operators worried over what they are calling unfair competition.
Kama Pro-Box zimeruhusiwa barabarani, basi sieri watu wote wanunue Pro-Box, maana hazina gharama. Unanunua tu sticker yako ya private na ile sticker inspection peke yake. Gari imetosha kuingia barabarani na ifanye ile kazi yote ya abiria.
Inaulizwa baji, PSV, leseni, hii ni inakatwa hapa, NHF, SNF, zote mimi nitaulizwa mtu wa matatu na nitatoa, lakini mtu wa Pro-Box ataulizwa leseni na PSV.
But their counterparts say they just have to accept that the transport sector in Taita Taveta County has changed.
Hiyo digital ni inatakana watu wafanye kazi haraka. Kwa mfano kuna watu wanafanya kazi wanalala foi, wanafanya kazi ndani. Mtu anataka afikie kazi. Kwa hivyo nikaona na wako watu waine wafika haraka haraka. Matatu nachukua masaa matatu njiani, huyu mtu atafanya kazi za ngapi?
According to the Pro-Box operators here, the passengers prefer Pro-Box. However, the Ministry of Transport is putting the blame on these Pro-Box operators for the increase in transport accidents in the area, a claim the operators deny.
Watu wa NTSA tumezungumza nao, tukawaambia kile kinachoendelea hapa. Wakija hapa wanafanya msako hapa, badala ya kushika hizo Pro-Box wanashika matatu. Pro-Box zinaendelea kupita tu pale na abiria. Zeo zinachukua nafasi ya kubeba abiria badala ya na matatu zikiwa zimejificha, zimeshindwa, zinaogopa sheria zile ambazo hazija comply. Pro-Box zinachukua nafasi hiyo na zinafanya kazi vizuri sana, na NTSA wamesimama pale na wanaona kila kitu.
Na kama ni haki ibebe abiria, tuvae sare na wao, wafunge gadget, waeke TLB. Zimekuwa na changamoto, gari ikifanya kisanga undani inaenda kujificha Makina, haijulikani ni ya wapi, maana haina TLB.
Madai yao kwa kweli si sawa, kwa sababu pia mkiangalia taksi tunabeba watu 4.
Francis Mtalaki, KTN Weekend Prime.
Former national basketball champions Ulinzi Warriors registered a crucial 78-65 win, and that's their second victory over United States International University. The Defense Forces team now requires to win tomorrow's tie so as to qualify for the finals, where they will meet Kenya Ports Authority. Take a look. After a 78-60 beating in their second match of the Men's Premier League Best-of-5 playoff semi-finals on Friday, Ulinzi Warriors stood tall in their third match against United States International University Africa. It was the students who took an early initiative, posting a 3-point lead after the first quarter that registered a 22-19 scoreline. Kevin Kigodho, who was instrumental in Game 2 for the varsity side, was at his best in the third match, contributing 15 points for his side. The second quarter was a seesaw affair as it ended 20 apiece for a 39-42 USIU halftime lead. That was the end of the party for the Thika Road students, whose defense was exposed. Victor Odendo got 22 points for the Warriors and made it difficult for the students' defense. After a third quarter 24-13 lead for Ulinzi, Victor Odendo, William Ochieng and Anthony Bwire were too hot for the Tigers to take a final quarter 15-10 for a 78-65 victory. A match that a USIU tactician felt his boys did not man up.
Today we were playing like we are the guys who are leading the series. We just played without desire, without energy. And I think I give Ulinzi all the credit. They hit us on that. They came it really wounded after what we did yesterday, and they just wanted it more than we did today.
On Sunday, Ulinzi Warriors, who lead the series 2-1, will face the wounded Tigers in the fourth match that could produce the team that plays KPA or stretch the fight to a tie-breaker should the Tigers win.
Hii nani defense nimecheza sitaibalisha, nitaenda kuongea na vijana, nitawa insist tucheze hiyo defense, and then lazima tuongee kwa defense na hands. Nafikiri tutashinda hiyo game ya kesho.
Mpaka tushinde tu hiyo mechi, ndio kwa maana leo tumefight hivyo. Players wengine hawako, lakini tutacheza tu venye tumecheza leo.
KPA secured their final slot after edging out defending champions Cooperative Bank on Friday, and they will be watching the Sunday's 4 p.m. game with keen interest to know who their opponents will be.
Moving on. Colin Sinjera was the difference as Mwamba came from behind to beat Homeboys 2010 at the RFA grounds in one of the Kenya Cup matches played this afternoon. In another match, Kenyan Nurses' spectacular performance propelled Strathmore Leos to the top of the standings, and this is after thrashing Western Bulls 46-9. Robinson Okenye filed that report.
Strathmore were locking horns with Western Bulls in a tie that held the key to them regaining top spot. Leos drew first blood as Ken Andolo kicked over a penalty to give his team a 3-0 lead. 10 minutes later, Churchill Ouko made the game's first try, putting the Nairobi-based side 8-0 up. Strathmore's attacks kept warming up as Brian Mwangovia and Teddy Dendy kept the varsity side cruising with a 22-0 lead at halftime. Things further went south as Frank Wenyama, Cyprian Kuto and Humphrey War crashed an helpless Bulls defense. Western Bulls only managed to bellow through Hilary Manjilwa late on in the game. Under coach Mitch Ochola, Leos are sending a warning to their opponents as they seek the season's title.
So for us, I think it's a big one because we don't hear the skeptics, what they tell us. We know what we have in the camp, and what we believe is we can take on any other team in the country, and let them show us also what they can bring to the party, because we are ready to take it to anyone in the country this time.
In another match, the evergreen Colin Sinjera's performance was instrumental as he made 2 tries to lift Mwamba from a 5-3 trail at halftime to a 2010 win over their rivals Homeboys. The win saw Mwamba retain 4th spot. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.
To matters soccer now. Kenya Premier League fans were treated to a rare fate today as they got a chance to play alongside top league stars during a SuperSport supported fan day, which was held at the City Stadium. The event brought together rivaling fans from all teams that took part in the 2014 KPL season. Fans were treated to a mini competition where they got to play each other and expose their talent, which was filled with a lot of energy and also fun. After a successful 2014 season that saw Gor Mahia retain the 2014 KPL title, organizers are hoping for a bigger and better event next year that will bring fans to hold the KPL trophy rather.
What we wanted to achieve with this, because we had that option of having Gor Mahia fans, AFC Leopards fans, Moroni, but we thought that would still bring forward the same rivalry we see in their teams. So what we wanted is to give the fans a chance to bond.
Trying to attract a lot more fans who see this, KPL as just being chaotic. It's always about hooliganism. It's always about this. So we're trying to show them that we can still come together as fans of different clubs.
And still in matters of English Premier League, on Sunday, Brendan Rodgers will be under immense pressure to deliver under Red Devils in a tie to be played at Old Trafford. The only consolation, though, for Liverpool is that United has an inconsistent backline. Hassan Juma gives us that preview.
Everyone, welcome to Sports Pesa Match Analysis. I'm your host, Hassan Juma, and of course, I'm joined by my resident analyst, Aida. Aida, welcome to the studio.
Lovely to be here, Hassan.
Man United versus Liverpool.
Yes, sir.
This is a big of a cracker. This is a crack of a match.
Crack of a game. Too much history behind it.
After Man U bagged 3 points against Southampton.
Of course.
Do you feel that that was extra impetus for them to, going forward against, of course, Liverpool?
2-1 wasn't necessarily an indicator of what went on during the game. Yes, it was a win for United, but it was a very unconvincing one. Van Gaal himself admitted to the fact that they were lucky to take the win. If you just look at the stats, United had 6 touches on the opposing side, as opposed to Southampton, who had 32 touches on the opposing side. The only difference being maybe they weren't able to necessarily convert them.
Was it a bad idea to sell, their top scorer last season?
That was a huge blow.
He's a big scorer, he scores goals left, right, and center. Was it a bad idea?
That was a huge blow to them. Of course, it was a bad idea from the from the perspective maybe of strategy, but it was a good idea from the perspective of money, But definitely, it's been a huge blow. Once you look at the attack right now, Daniel Sturridge is out, Balotelli is out. They need to invest into the attack.
Man United has major injuries. Chris Smalling is out, Jones is out, Raphael is out, of course Dali Blind is out. Yes. Against Liverpool side that was relegated to Europa League. I mean,
of course.
When you look at the match, do you favor Liverpool in this particular match or Man United being at home?
Man United being at home for sure, and don't forget the attacking force, the sheer attacking force that United comes with. Falcao is back. Di Maria was out with injury. However, he's back in training. He might even make a substitute appearance in the game. We have Van Persie, who is back. He got a brace against Southampton. Definitely, if Van Persie is not there, there's James Wilson. We have Rooney. There's a clear good midfield. Herrera is back. Can team up very well with Mata. Don't forget they came up through the Spanish youth team together. So they have a chemistry about them.
So many people feel that Man United will carry the day.
I
Just one
so.
people feel maybe 2-1.
Yes.
What do you think?
I believe so as well. I'm giving it 2-1 to United.
2-1 to United.
2-1 to United. They're at home. They have a lot going for them. Yes.
Of course, you can be part of this conversation by SMSing game to 79079. You can go to our website, www.sportspesa.com. Talk to us, and well, you could bag some money.
Mortin Doom. A peaceful night is a Mortin Doom night.
Now at a reduced price of only 299 shillings for a limited period. Get it today and save 100 shillings.
All right, before we wind up, we have a bit of feedback from you on the best and the worst of journalism 2014. Let's get into some of the tweets that were sent earlier, as well as some that came later on. Mike Anunda says the press favored only one side of the political divide. Mwigwi Mwangi says it was balanced, though opposition news declined. And that's probably one of the worst things that happens to us here in terms of media with regard to technical issues. But we roll on. We've got a couple of others. Jesse, I think media could improve by giving more detailed info on big stories and follow-ups, and less politics with regard to what's happening in the political sphere. That's something that we discussed as well. We've seen quite a bit of feedback. Patrick Gadara, a very familiar face here on KTN, has spoken about quite a number of the things that we do wrong here, that we are not deep enough with respect to coverage of news and different things. Amos Odero there saying, Kenya media hot on social media, cold on air. And Nanjala writes, seriously lacking in moral courage, discernment, historical and contemporary context. Well, you keep your feedback coming for us here on KTN on the best and worst of journalism 2014. We of course will continue sharing some of this feedback on air and online with respect to what we're doing badly, what we can do better. And this is a conversation that hopefully will be able to make us better in 2015 and deliver more with respect to what you want to be seeing on the news and what you don't want to be seeing on the news. We, however, remain committed to doing things as best as we can. But that's it for KTN Weekend Prime tonight. Tomorrow night, there is Checkpoint, and we are going to be discussing quite a number of serious things that have happened during the week. Of course, you can guess the Security Amendments Bill will be part of the discussion tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. If you have an opinion one way or another about whether that law should be passed and then implemented or not, then do chime in on the hashtag Checkpoint. We will be telling you about our guests later on. But that's it for KTN Weekend Prime tonight, the Point of News. I'm John Allen Namu. Have a good night.